The gospel reading of today is, I'm sure, a favorite of many of you. The prodigal son, where the younger son asks for his inheritance now and goes off and squanders it in all sorts of bad places. And in a short period of time, he's left penniless, living in squalor. And finally, coming to his senses, he goes home to his father with his tail between his legs, completely defeated and distraught. And that father sees him coming from a long way off. His father who's been waiting and praying that his son would be okay and that he would come back home. The father sees him while he's still a long way off. The father diligent in his love for his son. The message here is that we are the prodigal son, and the Father is God, loving us always and forever and completely and unconditionally, never giving up on us. Sometimes we give up on ourselves. We've all had those dark nights of the soul. We've all had doubts. We've all asked at some time or other, are you really there, Lord? When the apostles asked Jesus how to pray, he said, Our Father who art in heaven, our Father. But the word Jesus used was Abba, which means Father, but it really means more than that. It means Daddy. So God loves us like a parent, like a mommy or a daddy. That's how we should think of it. That's something we can understand. We understand what it is to have a mother or a father. Some of us understand what it is to be a mother or a father. Over the years, I've asked a question of many people, and the question is this: how involved do you think the Lord is in our lives? 3 answers were memorable. The first answer was, well, God is involved in anything and everything that has to do with the kingdom of heaven. Okay, I remember thinking, but not really satisfying my needs. The second answer was, God is completely involved in all of our lives and answers all of our prayers, but sometimes he says no. Okay, that answer didn't rock my world either. Then the third guy, when I asked, how involved is the Lord in our lives? His answer to me was in the way of a question. He said, well, how involved are you in your children's lives? And I said, are you kidding? I'm unbelievably involved. And if I could be there all the time protecting them, I would. And he looked at me and he simply said, He's your Father. Okay, that was the one I was looking for. Like a mommy or a daddy, God is loving us all. The Lord is always coming for us, always loving us back home. God is always protecting, perfectly loving, perfectly and unconditionally. Before moving down here from New York a few years ago, I spent 14 years volunteering in a maximum security prison, writing and directing plays with the prisoners. That experience changed my life. The name of the program was RTA, Rehabilitation Through the Arts. And for each production, we would have 2 performances, one for the not so sporty side of the prison, and the second night for the honor blocks and about 120 people, dignitaries from Albany and some other invited guests. Each of these productions was filmed and a DVD sent home to their families. Now, I was at a fundraiser for RTA, and a woman came over to me and she had tears in her eyes. And she said that she was the mother of one of the guys that was in the program. And we talked about her son, who had been in the play that we had just done, and what a great guy he was and how he had so completely turned himself around in prison. Okay, now her tears really started flowing. And I said, why are you crying? She said, you don't understand, I love my son. I've always loved my son. And well, when I got the DVD that you sent home of the play, and it was great, and I said, I know, your son was terrific. And she said again, you don't understand. I'm a single mom, and I couldn't get him off the streets. The streets were too strong. I tried everything I possibly could. I couldn't get him off the streets. And at 17, he committed a crime and went away. And the DVD you sent home, this was the first chance I got to be proud of my son. A father's love in the parable of the prodigal son. A mother's love in the story that I just told you. Our own parents weren't perfect. They did the best they knew how. We, who are parents, haven't been perfect either. We were always and still are doing the very best we can with what we have, with what we know, but not perfect. The only mommy or daddy that is perfect is our heavenly mommy or daddy, our Father. His is a perfect love. Our love is finite. His love is infinite, limitless, boundless, without end. Only God's love will be there no matter what, unconditionally. Whatever we do, no matter how many times we mess it up, God is still coming to save us. There's a very famous painting of Jesus knocking at a door. But if you look close at the picture, you'll see that there's no doorknob on the outside of the door. In other words, the door can only be opened from the inside. Jesus keeps knocking, and he will keep knocking. All we have to do is open the door. If you feel lost, he's coming for you. You will be found. He's knocking. Listen and open the door.